It is April. It's been some odd years. We've been writing this script for Odyssey for a long time, written it from the ground up many times, and we're finally recording. It is hundreds of lines need to get voiced, and so we're here in the sound bay yet again to get it all done so we have a nice, tidy release later this year, because it's time to push this thing out the door. So every line of dialogue needs to be voiced. Every single one. Nothing gets left out. If something gets left out, I'm just going to throw it all in the trash and start again. So let's get down to it.
Odyssey has been voice acted from the very start, all the way from demo version 0.1. Many of the voice actors involved were colleagues I had come to know over the years working as a modder. One of the values I had while writing script is that the characters needed to feel real. Well, obviously. It feels like a lot of settings for fantasy take place after or before some great rise and fall, which is not necessarily untrue about Odyssey, as you will learn. But in Odyssey, we're witnessing the rise of tribes into civilizations and all sorts of power mongering. We're actively taking part in a world that is still growing. As a result, many of the characters need to be lived in or have experiences that you wouldn't quite think of, perhaps even mundane in a way. So let's cut to the behind the scenes. Because I'm an indie developer and I didn't get 50 plus people into my recording bay, in reality I only had the pleasure of getting about 5 or 6 actors into my recording area personally, which has taught me a lot about directing.
It would seem we both have something to gain from studying them. I would appreciate having a chance to look over them soon.
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness. Except, I mean, it's more like, I can't see anything. I didn't know it could ever be this dark.
I can't see anything. I didn't even... Oh, I slapped my fucking... Let me see. I can't see anything. I didn't even know it could be this dark.
Yeah, that was good. One more time.
Can't see anything. I didn't even know it could be this dark. Which I feel like I could do a few more lines.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me see.
Whatever you're feeling. Whatever you are feeling.
Can't see anything. I didn't even know it could be this dark.
There's a lot more than just a handful of folks that gathered into my sound room for the cast. Many of the actors have recorded remotely, and they've done absolutely stellar work. Recently, I put out a casting call to fill some of the remaining major roles, and the response has been far greater than I ever imagined. Just about 200 people auditioned for the roles I put out there, so if you're one of those people watching this video somewhere, please accept my apologies that I just did not get the chance to respond to all the auditions. Everyone gave me some great reels to choose from. So now that we have all this audio, how do we get it from raw to ready for the game? How you organize your stuff is up to you, but for main story events, I split up recordings by the act they are used in. There's many good editing programs, including SoundForge, Mixcraft, and even Audacity. Do not discount Audacity just because it's freeware. Honestly, I find Audacity works about 90% of the time for all my needs, so let's go with that. Generally, a voice actor will give me about 3 takes on average. Even if they nail the line the first time, some variety is always helpful. So let's open it up in Audacity and go from there.
Allow me to aid you. Doom's song will suffer my wrath.
So this line is kind of quiet. All of the audio in the timeline is kind of quiet because we record with less gain, so we have more headspace for editing. So what I like to do first is I'll just use Amplify to bump up the audio.
Allow me to aid you. Doom's song will suffer my wrath.
And this clip in particular is already pretty well balanced, but I like to use the compressor tool to help equalize the audio a little bit. See how it brought down. You can see the difference about how it sort of is trying to match the gain to itself. That way you can create the most sort of balanced audio as possible, because sometimes characters are going to go from being very quiet to very loud, and you want people to hear the character, obviously, so the compressor tool is very useful for that. The another useful tool is Limiter. Limiter can help force gain to a specific height, I suppose, to a specific gain. See, look at that. Boom. It really beefed up the inside audio like that.
Allow me to aid you. Doom's song will suffer my wrath.
You have to be careful with the limiter tool because it can start to distort audio a little bit if you use it too much. But you can play around with these tools and find a medium that works best for you. From there, you can just export it into the game. If you're using Audacity, make sure you select current selection. It is possible you can set like break lines and export all the audio and stuff like that. My naming convention is usually character name underscore. I use about 3 digits because that's roughly about, I mean, no character has more than 999 lines. And for voice lines, we use .ogg. The sound format for OGG is very high quality while not taking up nearly as much space as uncompressed WAV files. So take that how you will. It's your game. You use whatever you want, but that's what we do. We use the same thing for music files. We use .ogg. And that's pretty much the long and the short of it. There's a lot of fine-grained control that I like to have. There's obviously far more streamlined solutions to editing such massive amounts of dialogue, but I like getting intimate with each line of dialogue. So do what works best for you, and I'll see you guys next time.
She's very kind and motherly, but rarely does she leave the temple grounds. One of the priestesses at the temple. She's very kind and motherly, but rarely does she leave the temple grounds. Stop that.